So I'm sitting here, it's pouring with rain outside, we've had a bit of snow and all that, and I just wanted to, whilst we're waiting for the old the warning video to bounce down, export, which is taking a long time, I just thought I'd make another little jobby on this website, right, which is called Visit Ukraine Today. And as you can probably see from this picture, looks like a beautiful Christmas there, right? So, as we've said over and over again, with this manipulation of people's perceptions of reality, here is an example which we've covered a couple of times anyway, but we just keep going back to it because it's quite fascinating, really. Now, like we've said over and over again, something very, very dodgy is or has gone on out there. But the nonsense that the media rams down people's throats, that they suck up like a sponge, soak it up like a sponge, is quite easy to sort of show people that often what you see is not what is actually going on. So I just wanted to, where's my old hand here? There it is. I just wanted to show you as well that they got a Sphinctogram page, right? So I was just scrolling down here and I saw this one here and I thought, hello, look, we got some, I don't know if you can see there, we've got some bird with a big old pair of bristles on her about to get into a sports car. The reason that I wanted to show this, because it is quite funny, isn't because of the video, right? It's because of a comment from some bloke, right? And this is how ridiculous all of this is. Now, you've got to remember, guys and girls, we're being told that billions of euros, pounds, dollars of our money is being sent out to these various places to try and fix a problem that has been basically going on apparently since around about 2014. And as we've said before, you had the Convid, right? Okay, and then all the celebs and the musos all jumped on board with that. And then within 2 years, we had this kick-off, right? And again, the usual protagonists all jumped on board with this. So you got people like Michael Douglas with a little yellow and blue hanky in his pocket and all this. An old Jovie, the Jove Meister, that, well, I won't even say what I think about him now. But so they all jumped on board with this old bonehead Bonio, as you know, right? With no real proof that anything is actually going on out there other than a giant old movie set that's been created around old Soviet Union empty towns and cities, and that's quite easy to check out as well, because we've done that thanks to one of the girls, I think, that mentioned it on our YouTube channel. But I just wanted to show you this because I thought this is quite funny. So we open this up in here because I don't have an Instagram, right? So anyway, just watch this, right? So we got, look at this, okay? Oh, yeah, oh yeah. That's it, girls. Come on, rock it out for the boys. There we go, look. Okay? I think that's probably just about enough of that, right? Okay, this was a day ago, right? And anyway, what I wanted to do, all these little love hearts and all this shit and everything on here. But anyway, some bloke wrote on here 20 hours ago, the wandering Englishman. How does this help anyone? Showing shallow fashion types whilst good me, obviously he missed the N off, good men are being sent to the meat grinder on a daily basis. Well, the wandering Englishman, I'm sorry, old chap, you need a wake-up call, because what they're showing you in all of this is that there basically is nothing going on, and men are not being sent to the meat grinder, right? Now, maybe a few years ago there was some dodgy shit out there, like there is in a lot of these countries, but this is all, again, utter nonsense. There she is, look, right? Utter nonsense. And it's people like this bloke here, the wandering, that's it, Englishman. You, sir, are helping. Can we highlight him? Yes, we can. You're helping push this, once again, criminal agenda along, because you are so obviously completely and utterly brainwashed to actually think that winter in the yellow and blue, right? So open this up. This is just a quickie here, just to make another point of how easy it is. Winter in Ukraine, right? Beautiful. We need to be reminded of the good things too, right? All at flashing, right? Okay. So, the Crimean Chamber Choir. This was put in 5 hours ago, and today is Friday the 9th of Jan. So, the point was with this is apparently we can book a holiday through these people here. We can go and actually go and look at houses and buy houses here, family tours and all this. Now, as we said in a video we did a little while ago, is this legit, or is this some kind of scam page? Well, I did email them and they mailed me back. And they wanted to, basically, what were we looking for? As you can see from here, it's a little bit shitty doing it, filming it on here, right? Insurance, legal services, entry rules, tours, and so on, right? But again, the funny thing about all of this is, and we're not, like I said, we're not knocking anything that goes on in people's countries where harm is created unnecessarily. Well, there is no necessity for harm to ever be created to people, but you know, these tours are quite funny because I think they've moved it now. Let's have a look. Preoccupied cities. So we said about this. You can go to deoccupied cities, right? As you can probably see here. You see this, like, that's a bit, I think Neil Self-Surge said that's the old Banksy, right? This is all bullshit, right? Absolute first-class bullshit, again. So you can go to these places that apparently have been smashed up for €1,490 on a trip, right? So basically what they've done is they've set up this big thing. Everybody's fallen for it again, just like they did with the COVID. And if you believe in the narrative, billions of our tax money is being farmed out to these places. Nobody knows where this money goes, and nothing ever gets resolved because it's not meant to get resolved. There's old Santa there. So I just thought that was interesting anyway whilst we're sitting here waiting for this video to bounce down. But like I said, these people that do all this, they're not people, they're a disgrace. And as we've made, I think, quite clear in our warning video, these youngsters, we just say youngsters, that are tampered with and played around with when they're very young, is just despicable, in my opinion. And I was just reading a little bit about people's opinions on the let's just say, the flipping from one gender to another. And people could quite easily turn around and, like I said, if you want to throw me some nasty email, go ahead. You'd just be wasting your time, because I don't care. I'm not interested. I don't care. I don't care what you've got to say, right? Because we're basically pointing out facts here. These are facts, very easily proven facts. But I don't have a problem with people who decide to swing each way, bat for the opposite team, whatever way you want to look at it. Get your bits chopped off and so on. You want to go ahead and do that, you go ahead. And I hope it works out for you, right? But my point is, and same with old Serge and my mum and a few other people we know, is if you are going to lie about it, right, you're going to blatantly lie about it, and you are going to pretend to be something that you're not, to manipulate the minds of other young people, then that is where that line gets crossed. And once you've crossed that line, it's very, very difficult to regain any credibility whatsoever, right? So there's a guy here who's just gone through the change, let's say the change, and we've only met him once, and it's like, well, all right, mate, if that's what you want to do, then good for you. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not going to be rude to you or insulting or not speak to you or whatever. But you're honest, right? You're being honest. But my problem, like I said, is if you're then going to go around and lie about it and basically tell people that you don't know, like these celebs do, and then try and manipulate other people into making a decision to change their lifestyle, then you're starting to cross that line, or you're getting very close to that line. So that was my comment about that. But interesting stuff here, and like I said, is if you if you want to have a look at this, it's quite interesting. You see my Bugs Bunny thing there. I've got Bugs Bunny saved thing. Go and have a look at this site. Visit Ukraine.today, and it's quite interesting, like I said, that when they're ramming down this nonsense, that this is the worst shindig since World War II in Europe, I think maybe somebody is not being quite honest. Anyway, if this comes out, the old warning video, again, take it all with a pinch of salt, and well, just take it with a pinch of salt. But it is an interesting sujet, and you will see at the end, or you will have seen at the end, that now they've amped up their image even more, and again, it's the old-fashioned scene, so that could be quite interesting. And we still couldn't find any weddings or any so-called boyfriends. Anyway, all right, great stuff. Cheers, guys.